What if the greatest empire in human history never crumbled? What if the Roman Empire, instead of collapsing in 476 CE, endured for centuries, reshaping borders, cultures, and the very fabric of our modern world? Today we're rewinding time to a pivotal fork in the road, the fall of Rome. But in this timeline, the empire survives. Let's explore how a single change, Rome's eternal resilience, could have rewritten everything from the languages we speak to the borders on our maps. Picture this. The year is 476 CE. Instead of the Germanic chieftain Odoacer deposing Emperor Romulus Augustulus, Rome's leaders rally. They reform the military, stabilize the economy, and integrate invading tribes as allies rather than enemies. The empire doesn't just survive, it adapts. The Mediterranean remains the heart of a superpower, and the Dark Ages never happen. But what does this mean for the world? Without Rome's collapse, Europe avoids fracturing into warring feudal states. The Roman legal system, infrastructure, and centralized governance persist. Highways stretch from Scotland to Syria, and Latin remains the lingua franca. Trade flourishes under imperial peace, accelerating technological progress. Imagine a Europe where the concept of nation-states like France or Germany never emerges. Instead, provinces from Britannia to Egypt answer to a single senate in Rome. But this unity has a cost. Rebellions are crushed ruthlessly, and regional cultures blend into a homogenized Roman identity. The Renaissance. It happens 500 years early, fueled by uninterrupted access to ancient knowledge. When explorers cross the Atlantic, it's not Spanish or British flags they raise. It's the Roman eagle. A stable, wealthy empire would have the resources to fund expeditions. Columbus might have sailed for Rome, not Castile. The Americas would be colonized not by competing European kingdoms, but by a single imperial force. Indigenous civilizations like the Aztecs or Inca would face a centralized colonizer with 1,000 years of military experience. Latin America's languages, religions, and borders would reflect Roman influence, not a mosaic of European cultures. Meanwhile, without rival European powers, the transatlantic slave trade might never escalate as it did. But would Rome's famed bureaucracy manage these territories fairly, or replicate the exploitation of its ancient provinces? Here's a twist. Christianity still becomes Rome's state religion, but without a fractured Europe, there's no power vacuum for Islam to fill during the 7th century. The Roman Empire, stretching unbroken from Persia to Portugal, blocks the Arab conquests. The Middle East remains a patchwork of Persian and Roman influence. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church, unchallenged by rival nations, faces no reformation. Martin Luther's protests, crushed by imperial authority. Imagine a world with one dominant Christian faith, no Islamic caliphates, and science evolving under the Church's watch. Would this stifle innovation, or could Rome's pragmatism fuse faith and reason differently? The Roman Empire's endurance would create a world both familiar and alien. You might be reading this in Latin, not English. The West would be a single civilization, not a coalition of nations. But without the creative chaos of Europe's fragmentation, would we lose the diversity of ideas that sparked the modern age? Or would a millennia-strong Rome have propelled humanity to the stars by now? The answer lies in the delicate balance between unity and freedom, a lesson as relevant today as in the ancient world. If you ruled Rome, which path would you choose? Let's debate in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and rethink history with us every week.
This is Bites of Goats, where we don't just talk about history, we learn from it. See you in the next one.